Ever get this feeling like some emotions just never really fade?
Yeah.
Like time heals all wounds, right? But what about those really intense feelings? Grief, deep love. It's like they stick with you.
You're hitting on something we're diving into today, how emotions can have this lasting power.
We're looking at a conversation between two people, and their views on experiencing the world are totally different.
And it gets even more interesting when they talk about zero-sum emotion.
Zero sum emotion.
Yeah, the idea is just like energy in physics, the intensity of some emotions stays the same throughout our lives.
So even though time moves forward and we change,
Those raw, powerful feelings from huge life events, they don't really diminish. Like losing a loved one or even the joy of a core childhood memory, that intensity sticks around.
okay, so it's not just that we remember it vividly, but the actual feeling is still there.
That's the heart of it. And where these two perspectives clash is how they see that playing out. One uses the example of losing someone close. They say, yeah, we understand death differently as we age, but that deep longing, that gut feeling of absence, that's ever present.
It's not just a memory, it's an actual emotion we keep feeling.
Right. And the other person emphasizes how differently we each experience this. They talk about the contrast between hyperphantasia and aphantasia.
Hold on, for those of us who don't speak science fiction.
Haha, no worries. Basically, it's about how vividly we experience mental images. Hyperphantasia is like having a high-def movie in your mind.
Ah.
Aphantasia, the opposite, very faint or no mental pictures.
Ah, okay. So someone with hyperphantasia, they might relive grief with the same intensity as when it happened.
Exactly, while someone else might feel it more intellectually.
Makes you wonder about your own internal world, right? Like, is it super vivid or more on the quiet side?
Absolutely. And what's cool is neither way is better. Just shows how different our inner lives can be.
But then how do we understand each other when it comes to these big feelings?
That's where they bring up the idea of emotional language.
Emotional language.
Like someone might grieve very openly, really showing their emotions. Someone else might be quieter, more internal with it. It's like they're speaking different emotional languages.
So it's not that one person feels more, they just express it differently.
Exactly. And just like learning a new language, understanding these different dialects of emotion can help us connect better.
And it's not like we're always speaking the same emotional language ourselves, is it?
Right. Think about how differently you might have experienced grief as a kid versus now.
Totally. You understand things differently as you grow up.
Our emotions mature, but that core intensity, that zero sum part, that can still be there.
Which makes me think about those times when, someone's hurting, you try to fix it, but what they really need is just someone to sit with them in that feeling.
It's tough, right? Because we want to help.
Yeah, but maybe part of speaking their emotional language is respecting how they express it, even if it's different from how we do.
Absolutely. It's about validating their experience, not forcing it to be a certain way.
And this whole emotional language thing, it's not just about grief either. Like, think about how differently people show excitement, love, even anger.
Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
Someone might be jumping up and down while someone else is quiet, but just as happy.
But inside, they're feeling the same intensity, just expressing it differently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the more we get that, the better we can navigate all these little nuances of connecting with people. It's like, imagine trying to appreciate a symphony if you only understand one instrument.
Ooh, I like that. So we're missing out on the full picture if we only get one instrument of emotional expression.
Right. We're getting a limited experience.
By opening ourselves up to these different emotional languages, we can better understand why someone reacts a certain way, why a memory might be so powerful for them,
It deepens our understanding of others, for sure.
and even ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. Because then we can look at our own emotions with more curiosity, less judgment, like, huh, that's interesting that I feel this way.
Instead of beating ourselves up for, I don't know, crying at a commercial from our childhood.
Hmm. Exactly. Which, for the record, is totally valid.
Okay, good to know, because
Yes.
it's happened. But seriously, it's like those persistent emotions. Maybe they're not flaws, but
More like threads in who we are, right? Showing our values, our past experiences, how we see the world.
so instead of pushing those feelings down, trying to get over it, what if we looked at these strong emotions as a way to learn more about ourselves?
Right. It's like they're trying to tell us something.
They show us what really matters to us, what's shaped who we are.
It's about embracing all parts of our emotional landscape, even the messy ones. Those zero-sum emotions, the ones that stick around, they can make our experience so much richer, you know?
I love that. So how do we actually do that? How do we take this zero-sum emotional language stuff and actually use it in our lives?
Curiosity is key, I think. Next time something triggers a strong feeling, in yourself or someone else, instead of judging it, take a second.
A pause.
Yeah, just a beat. And ask, what's this emotion trying to tell me? What's its language and what can I learn from it?
So instead of get over it or it's not that deep, we get curious. We ask, what's the story here?
Yes. And that story, it might surprise you. You might discover something new about yourself or understand someone else on a whole other level.
That's powerful stuff. We covered so much in this deep dive. This whole idea that some emotions, they don't really fade with time. They keep their intensity.
Zero-sum emotions, powerful concept.
It really makes you think differently about how our past shapes us.
Yeah.
And then those different ways we express what we feel, those emotional languages.
It's about realizing that emotions, they're not just fleeting things. They have this deep, lasting impact on how we experience the world, how we connect with each other.
Absolutely. So as you go about your day, think about this.
Yeah.
What if you really leaned into those feelings that have been with you, the ones that have a story to tell? What can you learn from them? Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and until next time, keep diving deep.